Now, the name Claudio Ranieri is a well-known name in culture. The achievements, the impact, but nothing comes close to the impact we're currently seeing at Roma. Now, Roma at the start of the season was a sinking ship, a club heading in the wrong direction, a club lacking any true identity. Fans across the world didn't recognize their Roma. But up stepped a manager, stepping out of retirement, Claudio Ranieri. Now, some might say he stabilized the team, whilst others say he revolutionized them, bringing in an attractive brand of football, instilling that confidence, that no fear attitude, that no respect attitude, where you will go out there and you will play your game and we will win and we will go on a hunt for Champions League. Roma, when Claudio Ranieri took over, were in the bottom half. Fans were telling themselves, maybe, just maybe, we'll finish in the top half. As of now, Roma are in the top four. Roma are the most informed team in the world statistically. And it's all thanks to Claudio Ranieri. So how has he done this? Because if we speak on the present day, Roma, Claudio Ranieri might have just made the biggest dent in the Serie A title race, going to the San Siro. Simone Inzaghi's Inter, the reigning Scudetto winners. Inter 0, Roma 1. But it was a special performance. It was a dominant performance. It was an aggressive performance. But on top of everything, it was fearless. It was of a team that knew where they were going, but they knew how to get the job done. So let's look at Claudio Ranieri. What has he done ever since he walked in? So how does Claudio Ranieri set up his Roma? And what's made them so difficult to play against? What's made them so difficult to break down? And what's getting them the 3 points after the 3 points after the 3 points? And it's got them climbing the Serie A table to a point where fans are beginning to believe in things which they never dared to dream of at the beginning of the season. It's the 5-3-2. Now, Claudio Ranieri, throughout his career, has shown he can implement a variety of different systems. He can deploy a variety of different formations. But the 5-3-2 is what's made Roma special. As you can clearly see, 5 defenders occupied by 2 wing-backs. Then in front of them, you've got the 3 protectors, the 3 anchors in midfield, with a split striker system. One striker which goes long, the other one which drops deep to help those central overloads. Now, why did this trouble Simone Inzaghi's Inter? Some might turn around and say Inter had 70% of the ball. Yes, but did they create any clear-cut opportunities? No. Why? The 5-3-2, it sets up like this. In today's game, Manu Kone. What a performance. What a powerhouse of a midfielder. Aggressive, tenacious, wins his duels, and on top of everything, there's fight, charisma, and personality. He would be the one that sits the deepest. You can even clearly see from the in-game photo. He is the deepest of the midfield trio. Cristante to his right, Pellegrini to his left, playing as supporting acts. They do the box-to-box role. They go and help the attackers. At the same time, they help him in covering that ground in central midfield. But Kone, when you've got a player of his profile, of his physique, of his tenacity, of his mentality, the opposition will struggle to break you down. Now, why? Why does Ranieri instruct his players? For one to sit deep and the others to be a bit more advanced. Because of this. This is the beauty of the 5-3-2. You create yourself a little box, a little rectangle in the central area. And now you've got Kone in the middle of it. He knows I've got protection in behind and I've got protection ahead of me. I know if I was to drift out to the left, I've got supporting acts from the left-sided centre-half to the left-sided midfielder to the left wing-back. And the exact same thing applies to the right-hand side. It's all about positioning the players close to one another. And that's why when you look back on the game, who won 60% of their duels? It wasn't Inter, it was Roma. Their players were constantly close to one another. Their players understood how to win their duels. They won the second balls because they were always 2, 3, 4, 5 yards away from one another. They can pounce on this Inter team. And yes, if I was to be objective and be fair, this is a very tired Inter team. But at the end of the day, you play what's in front of you. Every team has its own purpose, its own goal. And Roma went out there. They were more tenacious. They were more aggressive. They won their duels. And what made them special is when they did reclaim possession, they were arguably, easily, one of the most dynamic teams in the Serie A. They attack in numbers. When you look at the goal, whether it starts from Sule out wide, look at how many bodies are in the box. Look at how many players are willing to commit themselves to this attack. And yes, fortunate for it to have fallen back to Sule, but they always tell you in football, you create your own luck. Now, if Roma didn't push this many bodies forward, I guarantee you that ball would have dropped and Sule wouldn't have been there. It's all about creating your own luck. It's all about attacking as a team and defending as a team. And this is why I labelled them fearless at the beginning of the video. Very fortunate the ball drops to Sule. But let's just say some teams take a 1-0 lead at the San Siro and tell themselves, we are going to sit back. Not Claudio Ranieri's Roma. They kept going, and you can clearly see Angelino's cross across goal. From the Cristante shot, they kept piling the pressure. From Dovbik's opportunities in the second half, they kept piling the pressure because they knew on the counter-attack, playing on the front foot, we are dynamic, we are fearless, we've got players that are physically and technically gifted. But when we sit back in our 5-3-2, that central box means we've got control of Inter's midfield. And we've also got control of Inter's two-man in attack, their split striker system. And that's what won them the game. That is what won them the game. They kept themselves locked in. They understood their assignments. They defended as a team. The beauty, the arts of defending. Defend with one another. Work with one another. And I feel like that's the best way to describe Claudio Ranieri's Roma. A manager that walks into a team which was broken. There wasn't much communication between board and manager level, between manager and player level. He walks in, he steadies the ship. There's harmony, there's motivation, there's morale. And these players are now looking at one another and beginning to believe in something that they never dared to believe in. They are seeing themselves go all over Italy. Get the 3 points. If they don't get the 3 points, they don't lose. They are seeing themselves climb the table, and it's all thanks to Claudio Ranieri. The 5-3-2 in possession, it turns into a 3-1-4-2, as you can clearly see, because once again, Kone is instructed, and I'm speaking on the game against Inter, he is instructed to sit. Why? He's physical. He's technically gifted. He can cover ground quicker than a Cristante. He can cover ground quicker than a Pellegrini. Leave him as your anchor. He can help the centre halves. But what it is about Kone, when he picks up the ball from deep and carries, there is no stopping him. He is a powerhouse, but this is where you begin to look at Angelino. This is where you begin to look at Sule, a young star from Juventus. He's got the time, he's got the space, he's got the ball carrying, he's got the technical ability in those tight areas to maneuver, to get himself a half yard for a cross. For a shot, he's got an eye for goal, he's got an eye for creativity. This is Claudio Ranieri instilling his faith in the youth, instilling his faith in players that weren't even given an opportunity prior to his arrival, implementing a system that focuses on his players' strengths and minimizes their weaknesses. That is what top managers do. And Claudio Ranieri, God knows what the future holds. Can they get Champions League? Even if they don't and they fall short, their Serie A campaign has been nothing short of a miracle. And I feel like anybody watching from a neutral's perspective, you look at it with admiration, you look at it with a smile on your face. How a manager comes out of retirement, and he said, I would only come out of retirement for Roma. Comes out of retirement, stabilizes the team, revolutionizes them with his man management, with his tactics, with his imprint on the team. And now they're on the verge of causing the biggest upset in the Serie A title race, the biggest upset in the top 4 battle. And it's all thanks to the players and Claudio Ranieri. Now, if you're new, make sure to hit the like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to let me know what you think of this fairy tale in the comments, and I will catch you guys on another one.